flipping through the newspapers, switching through multiple news channels, exploring different websites and online mediums for relevant news? Keeping up to date with important news is not only time-consuming but also requires meticulous upkeep of notes for thorough revision. With a limited period in hand and abundant resources to study from, do not let current affairs come in the way of your prelims success. Join the PT 365 program by Vision IAS and advance in your preparation for current affairs. Starting on 9th January at 5 p.m., this 20-day course offers comprehensive coverage of 1 year of current affairs in 60 hours. Join for improved knowledge with complete coverage of The Hindu, Indian Express, PIB, Economic Times, Yojana, Economic Survey, etc. Doubt-clearing sessions and mentoring for thorough knowledge. Access to Sandhan personalized test with 25,000 plus questions. Access to live and online classes for flexibility in timing. It's time to devote your energy to smart learning and not running. Enroll today and excel in UPSC prelims with a strong command of current affairs.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's have a look at the headlines first. Union Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs presented the Economic Survey 2024-25 before the Parliament. Government amends Aadhaar rules allowing private entities to use Aadhaar authentication for delivering services. 4 more wetlands included under the Ramsar Convention. A new study highlights how Sundarbans are resilient in face of natural, man-made stress. Karnataka allows dignified death for the terminally ill. 3 committees constituted to draft comprehensive social security model for workers. In our first news for the day, the Union Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs has presented the Economic Survey 2024-25 before the Parliament, outlining India's economic performance, government policies and projections for the upcoming financial year. The survey, prepared by the Department of Economic Affairs under the guidance of the Chief Economic Advisor or CEA, focuses on driving domestic growth and resilience through deregulation. Now, let's take a closer look at the key highlights of the economic survey. India's real gross domestic product or GDP, which maps economic activity from the demand side of the economy, is projected to grow at 6.4% in financial year 25, with expectations of maintaining momentum in financial year 26. Alongside this, headline inflation, meaning the overall price level increase measurement, is moderating, primarily due to a decline in core inflation, which is the inflation in goods and services except food and fuel. In terms of trade performance, total exports including goods and services have exceeded $600 billion in the first 9 months of financial year 25, showcasing India's growing presence in global markets. Despite these positive indicators, the survey raises several concerns, such as an unfavorable global economic environment, as rising trade protectionism has led to a slowdown in global trade and investment. Furthermore, China's manufacturing dominance remains a significant challenge, with the country now accounting for a third of global production, surpassing the next 10 countries combined. At the same time, India faces limitations in producing critical goods at the required scale and quality, posing a challenge to the nation's infrastructure and investment aspirations. To address these challenges, the Economic Survey has laid out some key recommendations. It underscores the importance of deregulating the economy, as simplifying regulations can help unleash economic growth, lower business costs, boost employment, and enhance income generation. Additionally, the survey highlights the critical role of infrastructure development, where public spending is prioritized in physical, digital, and social infrastructure, and private sector participation is critical for scaling projects under Viksit Bharat at the rate 2047. Finally, it stresses that governments must allow businesses to focus on their core mission, as reducing bureaucratic hurdles will foster innovation and enhance global competitiveness. With a strong emphasis on economic resilience and policy-driven growth, the government aims to position India as a key global economic player in the coming years.
Now, shifting focus to a crucial policy update. The government has amended Aadhaar rules, allowing private entities to use Aadhaar authentication for delivering services. The Ministry of Electronics and IT has notified the Aadhaar authentication for good governance, social welfare, innovation, knowledge amendment rules 2025, amending the 2020 rules. These rules have been notified under the Aadhaar Targeted Delivery of Financial and Other Subsidies, Benefits and Services Act of 2016, with a focus on expanding Aadhaar authentication for ease of living. The amendment now enables both government and non-government entities to avail Aadhaar authentication services for public interest initiatives. The amendment covers sectors like e-commerce, travel, tourism, hospitality, and healthcare. Additionally, a streamlined approval process has been introduced for Aadhaar authentication requests. Entities seeking authentication must apply to the concerned ministry or department through a dedicated portal, with UIDAI examining applications and MeitY granting approvals based on recommendations. The concerned ministry or department notifies the entity after MeitY confirmation. These changes aim to improve governance and encourage the development of innovative digital solutions leveraging Aadhaar authentication. By strengthening partnerships between government and private entities, the amendments ensure trusted transactions between service provider and service seeker. Moreover, the amendments streamline processes, resulting in faster and more efficient delivery of Aadhaar-enabled services, benefiting citizens and institutions alike. Now, what is Aadhaar? Well, Aadhaar is a 12-digit unique identification number issued by UIDAI, which is a statutory authority under the Aadhaar Act 2016. It contains both demographic, name, gender, date of birth address, and biometric, fingerprints, iris scans, and facial photograph data. Additionally, as per Section 7 of the Aadhaar Act, the government may require Aadhaar for beneficiaries to access benefits or subsidies. Importantly, as per the Supreme Court ruling, Aadhaar metadata cannot be stored beyond 6 months. With these amendments, Aadhaar authentication is set to play a larger role in governance and service delivery. Moving ahead, India's tally of Ramsar sites has now increased from 85 to 89 with the inclusion of 4 more wetlands under the Ramsar Convention. This makes India the highest in Asia and third globally in terms of Ramsar-listed wetlands. Let's take a closer look. Among the newly added wetlands, Tamil Nadu leads the way with the highest number of Ramsar sites in India, now totaling 20. Meanwhile, Sikkim and Jharkhand have achieved a significant milestone by adding their first Ramsar sites. Now, let's take a closer look at the 4 new Ramsar sites. Starting with Tamil Nadu. We have the Sakarakotai Bird Sanctuary located near the Gulf of Mannar on the Central Asian Flyway. Historically significant, the Sakarakotai tank was dug in 1321 AD through Kudimaramattu or community participation. The sanctuary is home to species like the painted stork and black-headed ibis. Next, in Tamil Nadu again, is the Thirthangal Bird Sanctuary also near the Gulf of Mannar on the Central Asian Flyway. It is home to species like the painted stork, black-headed ibis, and spot-billed pelican. The site is also notable for its babul or Acacia nilotica trees. Moving to Sikkim, we have the Khecheopalri wetland, also known as the Wishing Lake. The wetland is believed to fulfill wishes and is locally called Sho Dzo Sho, meaning "Oh lady, sit here." Its original name, Khashotpalri, translates to Heaven of Padmasambhav. This cirque-type wetland is considered sacred by both Buddhists and Hindus. Finally, in Jharkhand, we have Uddhava Lake, named after Saint Uddhav from the Mahabharata, a close friend of Lord Krishna. Declared a wildlife sanctuary and important bird area or IBA, this sanctuary consists of 2 water bodies, Patoran and Barhe. It is home to bird species like house swifts, fishing eagles, and the Brahmini kite. For those unfamiliar, the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands were adopted in Ramsar, Iran in 1971. Its objective is to provide a framework for national and international efforts to conserve and wisely use wetlands. To commemorate this, World Wetlands Day is celebrated every year on the 2nd of February. With these new additions, India reinforces its commitment to wetland conservation.
Moving on, in a significant revelation, a new study conducted by IIT Bombay and other institutions highlight the resilience of the Sundarbans in the face of natural and man-made stress. Despite being exposed to extreme weather events and pollution, the study finds that the Sundarbans have remarkable self-repair abilities, although these capabilities are not unlimited. Let's take a closer look at the key findings on mangroves of Sundarbans. The research reveals that mangroves in the region have shown resilience to extreme weather conditions such as cyclones and thunderstorms, recovering within just 1 to 2 weeks. Additionally, despite a decline in nutrient composition due to anthropogenic water pollution, mangroves have maintained stable productivity, proving their ability to maintain function under stress. The study also points out that mangroves strengthen their productivity by enhancing their link strength and memory with hydrometeorological variables, such as precipitation, temperature, and wind speed. Interestingly, scientists explain that in plants, memory refers to their ability to remember past stress events like cyclones and store this response for future use. Mangroves are unique woody plants that thrive in the interface between land and sea, in areas which are flooded by tides for part of the time. Speaking of their characteristics, mangroves are the only kind of trees that can thrive in salty water near the sea. Due to their high carbon densities and sequestration rates, they are an essential component of the global carbon budgets. They are often called blue forests or wetland ecosystem engineers. India is home to several mangrove ecosystems beyond the Sundarbans, including Bhitarkanika in Odisha, Pichavaram in Tamil Nadu, Shorao Island in Goa, Gulf of Kutch in Gujarat, Vembanad Col in Kerala, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, among others. If we talk of the Sundarbans, they are located in the delta of the Ganga-Brahmaputra Meghna river system in South Asia, more specifically India and Bangladesh. The Sundarbans stand as the world's largest contiguous mangrove forest and hold international significance as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a Ramsar Site of international importance. However, despite their ecological importance, the Indian Sundarbans were classified as endangered in a 2022 assessment under the IUCN Red List of Ecosystems. These mangrove forests serve as the first line of defense for coastal communities, shielding them from floods and natural disasters. Furthermore, they support millions of people by sustaining livelihoods and contributing to the blue economy of millions. While the study showcases the resilience of the Sundarbans, it also serves as a reminder that these natural barriers are not invincible. Conservation efforts must be strengthened to ensure their survival in the face of growing environmental challenges.
In a significant development, Karnataka has become the second state after Kerala to allow a dignified death for terminally ill patients. This decision aligns with the Supreme Court's ruling that upholds the right to die with dignity. Let's dive into the details. The foundation for this decision was laid in 2018 Supreme Court judgment in Common Cause versus Union of India and another. The court recognized the right to die with dignity as a fundamental right under Article 21 of the Constitution and upheld the legal validity of passive euthanasia. To clarify, euthanasia refers to deliberately ending a person's life to relieve suffering caused by a painful and incurable disease or disorder. Further, in 2023, the Supreme Court simplified certain directions given by an earlier Constitution bench, making it easier to implement advanced medical directives for passive euthanasia. So, what does passive euthanasia entail? It involves withholding or withdrawing life-sustaining treatment or LST for terminally ill patients who are undergoing prolonged medical treatment, have no hope of recovery, and lack decision-making capacity. On the other hand, active euthanasia, where a terminally ill patient is intentionally put to death upon voluntary request, remains illegal in India. Moving forward, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has issued draft guidelines titled Guidelines for Withdrawal of Life Support in Terminally Ill Patients. These guidelines lay out specific conditions under which LSD can be withdrawn, such as when a person is declared brainstem dead. To ensure a robust decision-making process, the guidelines mandate the constitution of two medical boards, Primary Medical Board or PMB and Secondary Medical Board or SMB. The Primary Medical Board or PMB is responsible for proposing the withdrawal of LSD based on consensus among its members. Once the PMB reaches a decision, the Secondary Medical Board or SMB must validate and approve it before any action is taken. Additionally, hospitals must form a clinical ethics committee to oversee audits, maintain oversight, and resolve conflicts that may arise during the process. With Karnataka now implementing these measures, India takes another step toward ensuring dignity in death for those suffering from terminal illnesses.
Moving on, the Union Ministry of Labour and Employment, in collaboration with state governments, has constituted 3 committees to draft a comprehensive social security model for workers. This initiative aims to extend social security benefits, particularly to unorganized workers, gig and platform workers who often remain outside the ambit of formal protection. Each committee will consist of 5 states and work towards designing an inclusive social security framework. Additionally, the ministry is considering a dedicated social security and welfare scheme for gig and platform workers, given their growing role in the economy. But what is social security and why is there a need of comprehensive plan for it? Let's dive into it. Social security includes measures of protection afforded to employees to ensure access to health care and to provide income security, particularly in cases of old age, unemployment, sickness, invalidity, and work injury. With 94% of India's workforce engaged in the unorganized sector, most lack any form of protection under social security laws. Another reason is changing family structures, as historically, India's joint family system served as a social safety net for its members. However, in recent times, it is changing, and concerns like jobless growth and automation highlight the urgent need for a structured safety net. Let's have a look at the current mechanism of social security system in India. Currently, India's social security system includes the Code on Social Security 2020, which consolidates 9 central labour legislations such as the Employees Provident Funds and Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1952, the Employment Exchanges Compulsory Notification of Vacancies Act 1959, the Maternity Benefit Act 1961, among others. It provides for the establishment of a social security fund by the central government. Several schemes like Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana or PMJJBY and Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana or PMSBY offer life and disability coverage, while pension schemes such as Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Man Dhan or PMSYM and the National Pension Scheme or NPS for traders and self-employed persons ensure old age benefits. As India moves towards a more inclusive and sustainable workforce policy, these new social security measures could bridge existing gaps and provide economic resilience to millions of workers.
In today's Place in News, we will be discussing the Republic of Rwanda, with its capital, Kigali. Recently, the Rwandans supported M23 armed group advanced southward, approaching a crucial military airport in the Democratic Republic of Congo, or DRC. Let's take a closer look at a few key facts about the Republic of Rwanda. Rwanda is located in East Central Africa. It shares borders with Uganda to the north, Tanzania to the east, Burundi to the south, and the Democratic Republic of Congo or DRC to the west. Geographically, Rwanda is a landlocked country situated in the Great Rift Valley where the African Great Lakes region and East Africa converge. The country is home to Virunga volcanic mountains in its northern region. In addition, Lake Kivu, one of Africa's Great Lakes, forms part of Rwanda's western border with the Democratic Republic of Congo. Furthermore, the Kagera River, the most remote headstream of the Nile River, flows through Rwanda.
As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. The Reserve Bank of India has imposed penalties on India Post Payments Bank for deficiencies in regulatory compliance. IPPB was established in 2018 with 100% equity owned by Government of India with the aim to provide every household in India an access to efficient banking services. Gujarat has notified inland mangrove of Ganeri in the district of Kutch as a biodiversity heritage site. It is Gujarat's first biodiversity heritage site. Notified in accordance with the Biodiversity Act 2002, Ganeri mangroves grow 45 km from Arabian Sea and 4 km from Kori Creek, representing a rare inland ecosystem. Recently, Yamuna board stated that the ammonia problem occurs every year and there are no convergent solutions by states. According to the Bureau of Indian Standards, the acceptable maximum limit of ammonia in drinking water is 0.5 ppm. Causes of pollution include intensive rearing of farm animals, discharge of untreated sewage, etc. Araku Utsav titled Chali is being organized in the Araku Valley of Andhra Pradesh. Araku Valley is located in part of Eastern Ghats and located at an average altitude ranging between 600 and 900 meters above the sea level. The valley is often referred to as Ooty of Andhra and inhabited by many different tribes, mainly Araku tribes. A small detector weighing under 3 kilograms successfully identified antineutrinos, which are the antimatter counterparts of neutrinos. Neutrinos are subatomic particles with no electric charge and an extremely small mass, almost close to zero. Neutrinos are among the most abundant particles in the universe, second only to photons. The Ministry of Railways has introduced the SwaRail Super App, a one-stop solution to streamline various railway services. SwaRail offers services like reserved ticket bookings, unreserved ticket and platform ticket bookings, etc. A key focus of the app is enhancing user experience with a seamless and clean user interface. OpenAI has ventured into protein engineering by developing a model GPT-4b microbe. The model enhances Yamanaka factors. Yamanaka factors are 4 specific proteins. These factors are transcription factors that regulate gene expression and can reprogram somatic adult cells into induced pluripotent stem cells. The US FDA has approved suzetrigine, a first-in-class non-opioid treatment for moderate to severe acute pain. Opioid is a class of drugs that derive from or mimic natural substances found in the opium poppy plant. The primary use is pain relief. Although opioids are effective as painkillers, they can be addictive. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description.